Hello and welcome to this episode of the Business Spotlight. Today we are joined by Martin Willmor from DigiHaul. Hello there, Martin.
Hi, Mark.
Thanks for joining us today. So the whole purpose of the Business Spotlight is for us to learn a little bit more about you and a bit more about your business, and just to educate and help those people that are thinking about starting business or getting on that entrepreneurial journey. So if you could just kick us off, Martin, by just letting people know who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it, that would be great.
Yeah, perfect. So, hi everyone. My name's Martin Willmor. I'm the CEO and co-founder of DigiHaul. DigiHaul is a global business, started in the UK and based in Hertfordshire. As for me, I've been in the logistics, transport, warehousing space for 25 years now, showing my age. And DigiHaul's a 3-year-old company, which is a digital transport business.
Fantastic. That's great. Well, thanks for that, Martin. So digital transport business. So what makes you different to the other businesses that are out there doing the same as you?
Yeah, so I mean, I've spent a lot of time in my career with third-party, fourth-party logistics businesses, and I got really frustrated with the way that we treated our haulage partners, but also how we planned in the UK. I often run a big division previously and had multiple different customers, and they were very siloed in the way that they plan and execute transport. So our real main value proposition is sustainability. So we're here to take trucks off the road. We're an asset. We have no assets. So we work with over 700 hauliers in the UK, all using our digital platform. So we're matching supply and demand, customer supply and haulier demand, and then we are using our platform to optimize that. So we're a managed transport service. We manage the execution of shipments from right the way through from order to payment. So our service is absolutely critical, but that optimization layer is what really differentiates us from the rest. So we will match up various customers and optimize their routing to make sure that we're sweating our hauliers' assets as much as possible. So what's in it for the customer? Reduce carbon, which is hugely important at the moment. What's in it for the hauliers? Actually, all year round, fully kind of loaded vehicles for them to keep their wheels turning.
Wow. So that's pretty spectacular. So that's a great share. Thanks for that, Martin. So, I mean, what's the journey been like so far? I mean, you say you've been running it for 3 years. So take us back to how it all started and bring us up to speed to where you are now.
Yeah, so it has been a journey. It's been the first startup, really proper startup business that I've had. I've sort of managed various kind of go lives and customer implementations, but actually starting something from ground zero has been really tough. And things that you probably wouldn't expect to happen have happened. So we're a COVID-born business. We launched in January 21. So actually we're all wearing face masks, and there was 4 people in this office based in Hatfield House, actually. And yeah, there was 4 people in the middle of COVID, and it's been a real journey of discovery. So we first started in Jan 21 with our first shipment. That was a Network Rail shipment. And we quickly expanded. So the business is grown significantly. Our highest volume month was just over 17,000 loads, full truck loads. You know, expectations next year will be over 100 million turnover. So it's been a kind of nail-biting journey all the way, but I really feel like we're in a position now where we're nicely established. We've got really good customer base, and we've got excellent haulier partners and a great team as well.
Wow, what a journey. That's phenomenal. So from 0 to 100 million in 3 years or 4 years, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's been it's probably surpassed all of our ambitions, really, to be honest. And you know, it's given us a really good insight about where we can take it.
Yeah.
And now, actually, just this year, we've launched in Mexico as well. So we started operations in July in Mexico. Those guys are doing about 1,000 to 1,500 shipments a week. And we want to launch in another 5 countries by the end of 2026, including cross-border to Europe, which starts in January. So yeah, never a dull moment in DigiHaul.
Wow, yeah, that's phenomenal. I mean, I was just about to ask, what's the plans for the future and what sort of challenges do you think you're going to face?
So the global expansion piece is something that's really exciting, and actually in the UK it's quite a unique market for transport. So a lot of big customers, a lot of big 3PLs tend to want to have their own trucks, and they want to have their own kind of train sets, as I call them. But we haven't got any assets. So I guess our value proposition to our customers is use our white labeled fleet, effectively use our haulier base, and we can match that supply and demand throughout the year, and they don't need to invest multiple millions in owning their own trucks, and often very much underutilized and running around the country empty. So yeah, global expansion is a big one for us. We launch our new carbon reporting function in February. So that's a big milestone for us, because then we can baseline customers' carbon measurements with real-time data. So we're linked in with a DVLA system. So by registration plate, we can work out the equipment type. We've already got the weight information, and then through GPS, we're tracking the vehicle. So we can provide really, really accurate carbon reporting. And then when we overlay that optimization layer that we were talking about earlier, we can provide customers with the amount of carbon we've managed to take out of their supply chain. So all work in progress, lots still to do, but really exciting year ahead actually in 2024.
Wow, that sounds phenomenal. You guys really do drill down to the nth degree on info, don't you?
Yeah, well, it's a data-led business, so we've invested heavily in data. Yeah. So we've industrialized our data platform. We call it DigiSite. One of the things I've learned with DigiHaul is if you put a digi in front of everything. So we've got our employee welfare scheme called DigiPerks. We've got a company car scheme called DigiCars. But yeah, DigiSite is our data analytics platform. So all of the data, whether it's unstructured or structured from multiple different systems, including our host system, we can provide some really cool analytics in terms of when a vehicle's running empty, failures that may happen in the next hour or 2 hours, so we can prevent those, even dwell times at warehouses and DCs. So if a haulier's held up, we can pre-advise customers and sort of shine a light on where some of the supply chain issues are. So yeah, detail and attention to detail is super important.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. That's a great Digi share.
I like that
one. So moving on to yourself then, Martin. I mean, as the business owner, I mean, what's been your biggest lesson today that really stands out for you since you started the business?
So, yeah, I mean, there's so many lessons, but I think one of the big takeaways is people are so important. And I guess quite naively before we launched the business, I was thinking, I worked in many people-led businesses before, and we've built big teams in the past. But you think in digital business, it's all going to be kind of running through the system, and it's going to all be automated, and actually the people element is going to be less prevalent. How wrong can you be? So even though it's a tech business, we're in transport, so building relationships up with the customers, building relationships up with our hauliers, but most importantly, having an awesome team to make sure that when things do go wrong, because they do, we're on hand to help resolve those issues in a timely manner. So, the one big lesson is even if it's a digital business, people and process are still the most important thing. And that's always been a theme all the way through my career, really.
Yeah, that's a really powerful one. I mean, as you say, it's the business is only ever as good as the people that are running it.
100%, definitely.
So brilliant. Well, that's a great share as well. So this is one of my favorite questions to ask, Martin. So we're going to go back in time now. So back in time, and you're going to meet an 18-year-old Martin. And what you're going to do is you're going to give him some really strong, powerful advice. What would that be?
18-year-old Martin. Well, first thing would be sober up, probably. University days and sixth form days, distant memory now. But no, I think seriously, the one thing for me, and it goes back to people again, is kind of treat everyone with the same respect or the same way that you'd expect to be treated. So, whatever role or whatever task that person's doing, generally people come to work to do a good job. And actually in this business, there's a lot of pressure, and you're under a lot of pressure, and there's urgent shipments that need moving through, and we've got customers to serve. But generally, treat people with respect, and build that trust and confidence would be one. Stay humble. So, no matter how kind of big or, great expansion plans we've got, you've got to keep your feet on the ground, because, you're only one mistake away from a disaster. So try and sort of stay grounded in that respect, really. But yeah, I think the other thing from an 18-year-old point of view is sometimes people shy away from difficult situations. So, if there's a startup like what we're doing here, or if there's a particular problem or issue, normally, people that throw themselves into that situation, one, they stand out, and that's always a good thing if you're doing a good job. And the second is you learn most from when you're under the spotlight and under them difficult, challenging situations. It's easy sitting in your comfort zone. I was quite happy in my previous job, and sort of coming into this one, it's definitely been character building, shall we say.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, wow, that's some brilliant gems that you've just shared there for us, Martin. So thank you for that. And I'm sure that it wouldn't just necessarily be the 18-year-olds that are watching today. I'm pretty sure that some of the older generation sort of will take some heed from that too. So thank you for sharing that. So I can obviously tell you're a really passionate guy and passionate about your business. So what is it that really fires you up? What is it that really inspires you to do what you do on a day-to-day basis?
So the big thing for me, and it sounds really corny, but the whole thing was around that sustainability angle. So, working previously in silos and seeing a lot of empty trucks running up and down the road, and I don't know if I've got a bit of a habit and obsession now. So when you're on the motorway and you see the axle wheel up, it normally means that it's an unloaded or less than full truckload business transport. So when I'm up and down the motorway and I'm seeing all these heavy goods vehicles that are, underloaded and, not actually pulling what they should be pulling, that was the big thing that inspired me. And I was thinking, how can we get customers from the same industries or even from different industries working collaboratively to create a transport community that takes trucks off the road? So for me, that's the bit that inspires me. I drive my family nuts, I think, when we go down on our holidays to Devon, and I'm spotting the hauliers that we work with and seeing which one's empty and which one isn't. But that's the thing for me. It's like, a lot of talk about alternative fuels. There's a lot of talk about, some of the big plans from a government point of view. But if you think 20% of our trucks are running empty, even if we can improve that by 4, 5, 6%, it has a massive impact on the environment.
Wow, yeah, that's some really powerful stuff and some really purpose-driven sort of successes that you've got there. So kudos to you, my man. Kudos to you. So sort of just to wrap things up then, I mean, what's the best way for people to get hold of you, Martin? I mean, is there any sort of things that you sort of want to shout about from a business point of view as well?
Well, one, I guess we're Hertfordshire-based company, and when you reached out to me, Mark, I was like, if it's Hertfordshire, I'm all over it. I've born and bred Hertfordshire, sort of grown up I was schooled here, I've lived here, my parents had lived here. So, one thing is, even though we're kind of expanding rapidly, Hertfordshire is at the root of the company. So, said earlier, we're based in Hatfield House. So if anyone wants to kind of come in and take a look round, we're in a public park in a startup kind of ecosystem here in Hatfield House. We're recruiting. So actually we are an expanding business. So we've got big plans next year to sort of, grow again, hopefully, maybe not double, but near double the business. So we always need good people. So we're recruiting. And then if you want to reach out to us, the usual channels, so myself on LinkedIn or the team on LinkedIn. We've also got our DigiHaul LinkedIn page, and we've got digihaul.com. So any of those formats, we've got a lot of contact details on all of those different social media platforms. If anyone wants to reach out, they're more than happy to reach out, whether that's a customer, a haulier, or even just someone who wants to know a little bit more about us. as a Hertfordshire-born business, we're happy to do so.
Wow, that's fantastic. So it just leaves me to say thank you so much, Martin. There's been some great shares there today. I'm sure a lot of our viewers today will really benefit from some of them as well. So just want to say thank you.
No problem. No, I appreciate it, Mark. And I appreciate Spotlight and Action Coach for giving us the opportunity to talk about DigiHaul today. And yeah, hopefully people might find just one or two things useful.
Yeah. No, well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today. And for everybody watching today, hopefully you get some value from that too. And until next time, from the Business Spotlight, we'll see you all again soon.